Welcome to the Prima Advanced User Forum. This is Tyler with Prima Software. I'll be your host today, and we'll be covering service contracts, machines, and counters. Andrea will be available in the chat to answer any of your questions, and you can access the chat at the bottom of the window. After I cover the content for today, we'll go ahead and unmute everyone and open the floor for about 15 minutes of questions. Let's get started by looking here in FSM. This is our call response support contracts and meter readings. Our support contracts can be used whether you're providing a chargeable service or a contract with a base unit charge. Most of our customers will use these for printers or fax machines. Some of our other customers use these for anything they want to charge a service or rental fee for, such as water coolers or any subscription that you charge per month, quarter, or year. If we go into support contracts, here at the top we have 3 tabs. I'll go ahead and hit search here to show you this. The main tab has our company name and contracts. The header tab will show us the renewal and expiry dates along with some other details from the contract. And then the lines tab will give you some extra details, including machines, their serial numbers, and other information all in one view. So to create a new service contract with a rental or a base unit charge per month or a year, we go to new record at the top, support contract. You can search by company name, and I'm just going to use my company. Enter a reference and click create. Under the summary tab here, we can go ahead and add machines at the bottom by creating a new line. You'll enter the machine name in the description. So let's just say this is for a printer. We'll do new printer. You can also enter the serial code here if you'd like, so that it will show in the description on the invoice. Oops, just put an example here. On the right, we have our contract value. This will be the yearly payment value for each machine. Back on the left, we have these are all optional, these drop downs. We have groups. You can change these or add new ones in admin and service type. Our response, we can put a response time if, say, the customer calls and needs a technician to come fix the printer. The response times are in business hours unless you specify that they're out of hours in the call response section. And if you're going to use our call response section, you can also add an engineer here to specify who you want to send out. We'll have another forum on our FSM section in about 2 weeks. You can also select the type of machine here if you know the code, or you can type in a description. Add the printer, and then enter the manufacturer serial number here at the bottom right. And then click Save. You want to repeat this process for each machine you'd like to add to the contract. And then go to the Header Detail tab. Here we can set our renewal date for this contract. Just leave it as is for today. And expiry date. We also have some grayed out options that you can't change unless you start a new renewal because they affect the invoicing. And the option here to separate invoices. If you tick this, it'll put each machine on a separate invoice. So we need to start a renewal to change all the grayed out fields. Let's go ahead and click renewal at the top right, and then load renewal at the top left. What's going on? Well, it's still loaded. I'm not sure what that error was. So here in the main header tab, this is the same info as the summary tab we already filled in at the beginning. So we'll just go ahead and navigate to the header detail. These are your payment details on the left. So we can enter a payment start date. I'm just going to go with today. That did not change. There we go. And payment frequency. Say we're going to charge the customer monthly. Oop. Sorry about that. We can also enter our payment value. So since I put in 1,200 divided by 12 monthly, that would be $100 a month for this payment. And we'll enter our renewal value here at the top. This should be the same as our yearly charge. Everything under payment description here relates to the invoicing that will be created monthly for this charge. If you want to do a different nominal, like I said, we can add those in admin and then add them in QuickBooks. Can change the tax code and add a cost center if you'd like. Back on the right, we also have payment type. We can do advance payments or retrospective. If you choose retrospective, you can just put 3, so 3 days after the payment period is when the customer will receive the invoice. But if we do advance, we need to put a negative sign here so that they will receive the invoice 3 days before the payment period ends. And then we can click complete renewal. Back on the header detail main screen, we also have this option here for price increases. I'll just show you this real quick. We can add a new line and then enter the dates and the amount that we'd like to increase the price for this customer. We can also create a price plan here just to show you what this does. This will automatically set up a price plan, and we can go in and individually change the percentage increase and the dates for each of these lines as well. If anyone has any questions so far, Andrea is on the chat. The invoices for these for quarterly and monthly charges can be created in invoicing, sales invoices, and available lines. Excuse me. If we have a counter for the contract, which you will if you'll be taking machine readings to charge on top of the monthly base rental charge, then that billing is done on the line through the counter. So I'd like to go ahead and show you how to set up a counter for meter readings. Here at the bottom on the line detail tab, we have readings and add counter. You can select a counter type. We have by copy, color, or black and white, by print, or total, which is both combined. So I'll do total color. Name the counter. Unit charge is what you're going to charge the customer per copy or print. We'll put in the initial reading of how many copies were on the machine when it was delivered. You can also give the customer free units if you'd like to. And then a payment description. If we leave this blank, it will auto-generate with the counter name and the machine description. You can also choose a frequency here. These are the same as before. Our next reading date. Once again, we have our nominals here and classification. You can add a department and tax code. This says VAT code, but it's tax code just because of our UK counterparts. We also have cost here. This is your cost per copy or print. You can set who you'd like to contact at this company in relation to this counter or device and how you'd like to contact them. Good reading is how many days before the next reading you can email or call the customer and the account be accurate. So we'll just put 5. And then we have invoice description type. Extended will display the previous and new readings, and current will just display the current reading on the invoice. Then we can click insert new counter to save this. If you have 2 meters or 2 machines, you'll add a counter again and repeat those steps and repeat it for each machine. On this screen, we also have this merge button here. If you have any third-party software like Print Audit or FM Audit, they can use the customer information to link any devices here so that you can use this merge button at the bottom to link the machine to Prima or in Prima to that software to do your meter readings. We do have a link to a third-party software article that will be in the chat. And if anyone would like to set up a third-party software, you can just give us a call. We can help out with that. Once again, if you have any questions, feel free to throw those in the chat. And I just want to show you guys one more thing before we wrap up here. So back in FSM, we also have meter readings here. You can go ahead and search for the company we just set up. Here at the top, we have our contract details again, the counter details below that, and then the readings at the bottom. So to start a reading, we'll just hit this button here. You can enter the new reading here at the bottom left, and then click Complete Readings to apply that. We can also apply an imported reading if you're using a third-party software like I mentioned, or we can calculate an estimated reading based off the history of the counter. Because this is a new counter, that would just show us 0, so I'll manually enter that and hit Complete Readings. If you think you made a mistake, we can hit Credit Read at the bottom. And this will generate a credit for the customer for the amount. In our invoicing, sales invoices, and available lines, the support contracts will be available on the set payment dates in this invoicing available lines. If you go by company profile and include support contracts on the right, you can just hit search, then filter it by company name. Here's the one that we just generated, and create notes. And this will build the invoice for that base unit charge or rental charge. The meter readings, they will automatically generate an invoice, and while that invoice is in status outstanding, any other readings that are done will be added to the same invoice, whether they're credits or more charges. And that concludes the tips for today's Advanced User Forum. Thank you guys for joining in. I'll now unmute everyone for questions.